My name is Martin Rivas. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 18 years old here in the Rio Grande Valley. But my challenges with being diagnosed was really something that doctors were confused about in the beginning. They didn't know what I had. They saw me, I'm a tall male, and they said, "Why are you in the hospital right now, sir? You're moving to your left or right, I forget, and you're having like these dizzy spells going on. Your vision was off. What you're telling us, but they didn't know what it was. They did an MRI on me, and they first diagnosed me as having a stroke. In that time frame, I was just amazed, thinking, "Wow, I had a stroke and all." So at that time, I was still living at home with my parents and all, and I decided that maybe the day after, I decided, you know what, I want to go for a walk. And where I lived right next to a canal, an area where there's water for the most part for the farmers at the time. So I decided to go on a walk by the canal, and then all of a sudden, maybe half a mile into it, I fell into the canal. I screamed help, help, help to my parents, and fortunately they found me and they were able to get me back up to land and all. And my mother was freaking out, saying, what happened? Originally, I didn't know what to tell them. Like, I was just thinking, oh, it must have been a stroke. I must have so issues for the most part. And no, it was just something brand new to me. I didn't know what to think of what I had. But the thing is, so at that time, I didn't know I had MS. I wasn't diagnosed yet. So again, I was a senior in high school, and so that month when I was first hit with the symptoms of my multiple sclerosis, I went through my graduation. I did have an incident there where I almost fell off the stage. I got off, unfortunately nothing happened, and I applied to colleges, and I went to Brown University, and where I got accepted and all, and then I went to Brown. So the first semester, everything went well and fine. No issues and all. The weather, I was loving it. It was nice, cool weather. And I didn't think I thought this whole stroke thing was nothing. Like, you know what, I'm young, I'm gonna continue on with my life. Then the following semester, in February, I had the same symptoms one day. I noted that I had the same symptoms, and I thought to myself, this isn't right. I had these same symptoms when I was back in the valley, and I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna risk it. So I went back to the school nurse, and fortunately my mom had mailed them or notified them regarding my situation and all. I was diagnosed with having a stroke, and they automatically said, you know what, sir, we're not going to take the risk. We're taking you to the hospital, nearby hospital, RISD, I believe it's called. So they took me to the hospital, and I was fortunate that the doctor on call, he was an MS specialist. So they gave him my case, and my mom, she had mailed that same day when I got diagnosed, and they called him. She did an express delivery from the valley all the way to Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, and they gave all my MRIs to the doctors that they took here in the valley. The doctor got my MRIs. The following day, he got my MRIs, and he had them in his hand, and then he came to my bed, and drew the MRIs on my chair, or my table. And he told me, sir, what's this? And I told him, aren't those my MRIs, sir? Yes, sir. But the thing is, I can't read anything from these MRIs. Go through the MRI machine once more, and I did the whole thing again, going through the noise, the MRI noises. And from there, the doctor told me, sir, you have MS. When I was first diagnosed with MS, that's what they said, you have MS. Thinking, oh, he's from Brown University, he should know what MS stands for. And I was just thinking to myself, no, I don't. So you have a Mexican in northeast coast, United States, thinking to himself, MS, what is MS? So trying to make the best out of things, I decided to make jokes, make it funny, make the best out of things. So I was thinking, MS, and being that I am a Latino and all, I'm like, more salsa, that's what MS stands for. And then I thought, you know what, no, I'm 6'8", so I was thinking to myself, you know what, no, I have midget syndrome. Then after that thought, a nurse comes on in, and then she explained to me what I had. She scared the bejeebers out of me, telling me, sir, a lot of people with MS will stop walking after the 4th year of their diagnosis. And I'm just there thinking to myself, wow. I was in Providence, Rhode Island, going to school with this thought that they just threw at me, saying that you were going to be able to walk. And then they pretty much told me, we're going to give you some steroids for a couple of days, and then we'll release you. The doctors were trying to be as helpful as possible, telling me more about MS. The nurses gave me literature about multiple sclerosis more, and all of it was scary. So after the 3rd day, I was then released, went back to Providence, or to my dorm room there in Brown. And then I was just thinking that night, what do I do now? So I was there for maybe about 3 weeks. Then I had to come to a decision saying, you know what, I don't want to risk it. I lived on top of a hill, having to go down to my classes on the bottom of the hill. And I would have to be going up and down, up and down, up and down every day. And at that time, I was a big man. I was 450 pounds. And I had this fear, oh my gosh, if I trip, heck, I might roll down. So after that month, I decided, you know what, no, I have to go back home. So a month later, I decided to come back home, and I decided to then afterwards just to continue my life as a normal person as much as possible. While I was here in the valley, I had to look for information. The MS by itself is here in the valley. It was very minimal. 20 years ago, it was no one knew about what MS was, what multiple sclerosis was in general, and I felt like I was an outsider. Like when I came home, I didn't have friends who say, "Oh, I know what multiple sclerosis is. I could do this, or I have multiple sclerosis." No one had MS here, and it was just so lonely and isolating. And originally, I found a multiple sclerosis society within the valley, but it wasn't the one you mentioned, the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. This one was through the National MS Society. And that one, I got to know more people there, and I was able, some of the people were affiliated with the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America, and there I went to a couple of their meetings and all. Once they invited us to it, and I went to those meetings, and I started my time with the association. I'll be honest, I wasn't as active as I was, and as I could have been. But the thing is, so I was at that time, I was already occupied with my time with school, with all these other things I was doing, and my activity level wasn't as active as I could have been. But I still had the whole thing in my mind, nonetheless. Though. Well, the thing is, though, you all have a Facebook page where it has kept me informed regarding any of the events that you all have. And again, some of it, I want to say I want to go to it, but unfortunately, due to time constraints that I do have, I haven't had the opportunity. But the thing is, so I want to go to those events for the most part, just so that there I could keep myself active, keep myself going, and try to continue on the support for the association for the most part, to just get the word about multiple sclerosis, and let it be known, hey, there's more people than just us here in the Valley with the disease, with the disease, and we try to bring people into it. I want to be more involved as possible, if I can. But yeah. Well, the struggle that I had while I was working, it was my MS. Of course, it's blind. No one could see my MS. They can't see a bubble saying he has MS, this or that. For the most part, the thing is, though, sometimes though, what they did is give me work like everyone else. They kept me as equal as much as they could, and I wanted to be treated that way. I didn't want to be treated any other different. I wanted to be an equal for the most part. And once I noticed that my MS was becoming a nuisance, I felt that, you know what, I need to tell my employer. Now, this is what I feel all MS patients or individuals have to understand. We have a disability, an illness, but the thing is, though, that illness doesn't control who we are, our face. That illness is just something that we have, and isn't going to stop us. So I was having like blurry vision. I was having moments where I need to just move around the office as fast or as slow, depends. For the most part, I needed something to keep me up and active, where I would just get some coffee. And being that heat does affect my MS and all, I decided I'll make iced coffee for the most part. I'll go to the fridge, if I saw ice, put some ice, have like a little latte for frappe for myself for the most part. But I will do whatever, I will do modifications just to make the situations work for me at where I worked at the moment.
We appreciate you watching. If you want to help support our mission of providing resources for the MS community, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. We've compiled a full list of helpful links in the description below, including some you might not have found yet, all to help MS patients.